Welcome to another episode on my Arduino MegaADK for Android with electronics and an Android tablet. In this series I try to combine this Arduino using electronics with the Arduino, but so far I haven't really managed that. The problem is first of all that I am trying to get acquainted with JavaScript, the programming language for the Android, while the Arduino is programmed in C language, AVR-C dialect, and so far I have had problems with programming the Android. One of the things is that it is always nice when things work, but it gets mysterious when things tend not to work at all, or partly, and that is what happens here. I tried to read time that is being spent during a for loop. So I read the time in seconds, then a for loop is being run, and after the for loop another time is being read, and then the first and the second time are being subtracted, and you get to know the time lapse, or the elapsed time. Time lapse is something different. However, that doesn't completely work. Now I have done this a third time reading, and when I do this, everything so far works. This is being visible. Here is something very shortly visible. Mouse clicked. Seconds, which start at 0 again after a minute. These coordinates here are just changing every time. I'm okay with that. This ellipse is changing shape. These small rectangles are there. So at this moment it seems to work. So where does it go wrong? Not quite sure. Last time it completely froze up, or 2 episodes ago, I don't quite recall, but anyway, it froze up, and after commenting out all the for loop and other timing, it works like it is now. I also had to move this text from here to there because it was overlapping with mouse clicked. Another thing that I don't like is that once in a while it gets black, as you just saw, and the program tends to suddenly quit. Anyway, time to get something done again, and now I will just test something to make sure that it runs again. I remove all the comments. Start again. So this will quit, and then let's see whatever happens. Most likely it goes into debug. Well, Yeah, it goes into debug and you will see shortly and notice that it has stopped. Yes. So let's do it again. See if it indeed goes wrong any moment now, but it does go, it does work, and it starts working. And there you have it, completely frozen. So something in the part that I just uncommented goes wrong or has an error. So let's see in the screencast what that might be. So it has frozen. Well, there's more properly the Android froze up, and this is the part that I uncommented. So what I want to do is working piece by piece, uncomment this one and see how this works out. And then if it works out, see if it keeps hanging. Well, this is not a good solution, good result. Okay. And what is there to tell, except that I only read things once now. So this is the seconds first, which runs, and this one is the preface to this for loop, what I was talking about. And now you can see that it indeed completely crashes each time, which is needless to say very annoying once again. Now it works. So let's bring up the monitor. Alright, we have seconds first and everything seems to work. Second start 8. And that is nice, but do I need it? Actually, since it still runs, I don't need to say this. Thinking about context, it reads a second, and here it reads a second as well. So actually I can comment this out. I can comment this in, uncomment. I don't need to know this one. I only want to know let's say seconds roll is this one. This is what I want to know. No more, no less. However, do I know then how much time has elapsed? Well, not yet, but it reads and it reads, and then maybe it sets maybe it will say 0, maybe it will say 1 or 2, but at least it will give a number. So then I know that it probably will be working. So let's give this a try. Too much printing can be confusing and just being too much. And there we go. So seconds first is one thing. Yeah. 0. So they do it actually this short after another, that it says alright 0 seconds, and that is a good point that it makes, and makes me think, alright, there are time divisions that are tenths of a second or hundredths of a second, but this is just taking seconds. Can I do less than a second? Because this happens and this happens, and 0 seconds would mean at the same time. Well, clearly not, so it must be much less than a second. Anyway, so far this works, but let's find out if I can indeed do less than a second. Would be interesting. And of course there is an instruction that reads less than a second, which is not really surprising. Milliseconds. So now I will see the number of milliseconds, and I'm quite curious what that will bring. Hopefully this goes right in one time. Nope. So run and do it again. And this is getting annoying once again. Why does it go wrong so many times? I still have no clue at all. Time consuming, because you can do much more fun things when it goes right. And now it goes right. So 32 seconds on the device, and wait a second, why does it give 0? Milliseconds, S4 minus S3, oh, of course, or is this of course? Will this indeed be what I expect to see? Let's go here. Milliseconds. Yes, integer. Right, that is what I wanted to know. Still integer. Which is no surprising, by the way, because if it would have been something different than integer, and then I would have got an error message. So back to the test.
Why does it say 0? This should not be 0. 1 millisecond. 0 milliseconds. Then the conclusion would be that the timing difference, or the time difference between this one and this one is less than a millisecond. Well, it is possible, of course, going into nanoseconds or microseconds, milli, micro, nano, so it could be microseconds, but I really doubt that. So zero. It is every time 0 and freezing. Okay. It has frozen proof. This is not what I expected to see. Now, I don't know all the specifications of the Android, but smaller than milliseconds, yeah, it could be, but then again it froze again. You noticed it was frozen at this last moment. So why is that happening? That is still not explained. Anyway, enough time for the Android part of this episode. Let's go with the Arduino. And because of this error, of this unexplainable behavior, at least unexplainable as yet by me, for me, I can't connect them yet. Anyway, time for the Arduino.
So after this test, which still works now, although milliseconds draw still says 0, which I think, oh, and it's frozen, so not working nicely, and there it goes. On goes with the Arduino. So what's up with that? Electronics and fischertechnik LDR, photo-resistor, photo-transistor, well, if you have watched my previous videos on this, then you know what this all is about. Otherwise, I will explain. This one changes the voltage when the light is away or not. Full light is more resistance, so less voltage. So now there is full voltage. This is only giving voltage or passing voltage when there's light on it. So with this flashlight I shine and there is some voltage over it, which is led through this voltage divider. So the full 5 volts is not coming through. It is more like 2.5 volt. Then These are from fischertechnik. Then a switch with an RC capacitor, with an RC circuit, resistor, capacitor, and then a small flash with unloading. And the point is that when I keep pressing the switch, the voltage keeps going but not lighting the LED. Also, what should happen is that with pressing this switch, the this LED should work, but it is not right now. So this should light up for 1.5 seconds or so, but that is not the case. And I can show you that it does work. So mind the lowest line, you can see that it changes, and that's when pressing the switch. And this line is from the LED, which should light up, but there's nothing happening. So I have to check on that. And then oops. Then this switch works with two LEDs, this one and this one, and then this switch works with this one and this one. So that's all nice, so I have to check on this one. Anyway, that's for checking all out. Time for some new things. And what that will be? Good question. But first I'll have to check on this.
And before I dive into the mystery of this LED, I find another issue that, well, not really an issue, but here I have defined analog output 7 from 7. This output 3 from 3. So why am I not using those? So let me put this right here, and this right here. Would it matter? I guess not. And analog output 7 is 7, and this is being written analog because of the digits, those are the frequencies. So let me just make things clear. And this has to be analog out pin as well, or no, this is analog write 5. Alright, this is a bit strange because this is a value in analog write and it says digital out pin 5. Alright, let's just keep it that way for now. Let's upload. Things are set alright, no problem there. Go. Done uploading. So this is here. Let's press the button. Well, that goes right, except that, yeah, now that works. Fine. So why doesn't this work? Why doesn't this show? That's weird. Or am I looking at the wrong place? No, I'm not looking at the wrong place. Why doesn't this show? This is strange. It is a digital out, so it should read high. So where do I do the probe then? Maybe I should not ruin anything. So maybe just here for a moment. Nope, nothing. I should touch it here. Nothing. This is strange. Very strange indeed. So why does the LED work or not? Because now it stays off again. And this is the type of mysteries I do not like. Either work fully or don't. But I don't even get the oscilloscope signal. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. That works, but still no oscilloscope signal. Weird. It works and it doesn't. Anyway, time for a new idea then.
As a last addition for this time, I decided to connect a motor from fischertechnik. So from this more or less acting LED connected to this button, there is, without a transistor circuit, motor with propeller. And if you watch my other projects, then it looks familiar to you. So what I do is no extra code, just press and there it goes. And it runs as long as the LED burns. And the weird thing is still that when looking at the oscilloscope and mind this line, that should give a signal. However, there's nothing at all. This is button 1. This and now I am doubting myself. Why is this not responding? This is the blue line, which is not responding either. And that may be caused by a non-connecting resistor, but still now it's not doing anything, which is very odd. If I change the time base, but that should not affect anything. I'm just pressing it, and I'm pressing this one, and for some reason there is something wrong, because now this is high, and when looking at A0, it is low, which is correct because the button is not pressed. At the same time, it shows high. Really. So this is 1 second, 10 seconds, no, I need less time. Alright, let's keep it to 200 milliseconds, 2/10 of a second. Pressing. Alright, well, this is one thing. Yeah, this is of course for the resistor. Then this is for the transistor. LEDs work, but still the third line is not responding, which is very odd. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, let me point the camera here again. So, pressing this button, last time. Okay, let's lose this probe. No, nothing. Alright, thanks for watching again. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you want. Follow me on Twitter, retweet and like. Follow me on Instagram and like. Leave a comment. Please donate to keep videos coming to you. More information at the start of this video and under my video, and on my website. And this is going to be continued, no doubt.